Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new shiny marathon here on Teacup for One. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and this month is all about Superman. Da 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 da. I don't know if that theme is in all the movies. I know it's in the new one, and that's a big deal. And it's definitely in this one. We'll see. But yeah, fun fact: I have basically never seen a Superman movie. I mean, I saw Man of Steel more or less when it came out. I don't count that because, like, is that the movie you start your intro to Superman with? It's the movie I started with, and I felt like it didn't count. So, in anticipation of the brand new Superman movie, I thought, you know what? This whole month is just going to be Supermen. We're just going to embrace all of the Supermen. Well, not all of them. 4 of them, like the 4 main ones. So tonight we are starting with 1978's Superman starring Christopher Reeves. Next week we're doing Superman Returns. Maybe I can't remember the one with guy who only got one movie, Brandon. Of course, his name's Brandon. Brandon would only get one movie. Then week 3, we're doing Man of Steel. Again, my intro to Superman, the Henry Cavill introduction. And then at the end of the month, we're going to talk about the brand new movie. And then hopefully we'll have like a sense of what came before to judge if the new one's any good. The trailer, people loved it. I was confused. I was like, why are there robots and a Godzilla and a dog? I didn't get the dog. Also, to answer the question, my cats are watching as per usual. Superman in this movie did not have a cat. In the new movie, it seems like he has a dog. Anyway, let's bring in our guests. We have a full house today of some fan favorites as well as a brand new friend. Well, for you, old friend for me, but I'm excited to chat with all these folks about Superman. So first, we're going to bring in Jeanette. Look, it's Jeanette, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Jeanette. How are you?
Hello. Great. I'm super.
Who do you think would win in a fight? 1 Superman or 100 gorillas?
Is this based on Elio? Is this your Elio question?
I kind of, yeah.
Yeah. I saw Elio last night, so that's fresh in my mind. Who would I guess Superman, duh.
I don't know.
I don't think Superman would hurt 100 gorillas. I don't think he'd ever hurt 100 gorillas.
Though he would fly away, probably.
Yeah, I don't think he would hurt. He'd find a way to lasso 100 gorillas.
That he doesn't have. That's Wonder Woman though, who has a lasso.
Well, what a net. Whatever.
That's true. He's resourceful. He'd find.
I'm sure there's some superhero that has a net as their like core thing, and I don't even know what it is.
Probably. Well, you know who would know? Well, actually, no. I'll bring Josh in later. Okay. Next, we're gonna bring in. Look, everyone, it's Lauren.
Hello. How are you?
Great, Lauren. Is there a superhero that has a net?
That has a what?
Net, like a net, a big net.
Net. I'm trying to think. There's got to be somebody that has a net. But I was just thinking that what he would do with the gorillas is he'd use his heat vision to create a circle around them so that they couldn't escape.
Yes, he would wrangle them in some way. I don't think he'd ever hurt the gorillas.
Okay. Well, then, Lauren, my question to you: who would win in a fight? 1 Superman or 1 Steve Rogers?
Oh God,
Steve Rogers or Captain America?
Yeah, Captain America.
Yeah, Captain. Yeah.
I mean, it would be Superman, you know, but if Superman were impacted by kryptonite, then it could be a fairly even fight.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So much lore. Speaking of lore, it's Vince, everybody.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Vince, welcome.
Good to see everyone.
You know all about all kinds of lore. You're the lore king.
A little bit. Some of it's really dubious. You know, I wouldn't say all of it's 100% true, but I know a fair amount of lore.
Fair. So, Vince, based on the lore, you know, who would win in a fight, Superman or Mothman?
Here's the thing. One of Superman's weaknesses is like psychic abilities, you know? So I feel like the Mothman would have the upper edge, like when it comes to like a battle of telekinetic or I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Telepathy, you know?
Yeah.
The Mothman could probably cast a vision into Superman's mind. But look, at the end of the day, he'd overcome it, and he would punch a hole straight through the Mothman. You know, I think.
a movie I would want to see. I would want to see. Hey, look, Kristen's here. Hello.
Hey.
All right. And we're going to bring in our next guest for tonight, fresh face on the channel. I'm so thrilled to introduce one of my friends who I fought alongside at the barricades in my Cawthra Park High School production of Les Mis. It's Josh, everybody. Look, everyone.
What's up?
Hey.
What's up? Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Les Mis, man. Let's
Les
talk.
Mis. I know. We were on the barricade. It was great. We died.
Hell yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Then we were ghosts. We stood really still.
Oh yeah,
drank
we walked around
grape
some
juice
tables.
that had mold in
It
it.
was great.
Yeah. Circles. It
The
was
choreography.
impeccable. Impeccable. I mean, the amount
Marching,
of marching, slow motion. Yeah.
fake drinking. It was great.
Well, yeah. The grape juice got moldy, and I still drank it in
Oh,
one
That's
scene.
almost wine.
Yeah, it was almost wine. It was almost wine. And I remember it wasn't you, but in the opening scene when we were all in the chain gang, or at least I was, some of you like older kids were police officers or guards or whatever, and you like had muskets. And one of you like beat me really painfully, like for real. Like he kept on getting me like with my, he got me
okay.
in my
No,
knees
I
every-
was too. That's
It wasn't you.
horrible.
It wasn't. I know who it
No,
was.
I was
I
too
know.
short to be like.
It's true.
They wouldn't believe me as a cop or anything. They'd be like, "Come on,
Fair.
the prisoners would overtake this guy. What are you talking about?"
But anyway, Josh, I'm so happy to have you. You are basically like a comic book archivist / expert.
Ooh, wow.
Little bit.
I think I know, well, definitely much more than the average, but I am more of a Superman guy. I've been reading Superman since I was like, I don't know, 4, something like that.
Is Superman like your top out of
Yeah.
DC and Marvel?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
I may or may not, but definitely do have a Superman tattoo on my back.
Amazing. And show us the shirt. Show us the jersey.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Here we go. So this is the
Oh,
jersey.
cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
I got this. This was a gift back in the day when we had this thing called OAC, which was grade 13 in Ontario for all you young kids. I got this at a place called the Silver Snail in Toronto, which used to be yeah. There was like, I'd go in there with my buddies sometimes and we get our, whatever comics or paperbacks. Like, when they would like do a volume of whatever story arcs, we get that. But then they had this, and I think it was a gift from my folks, like a birthday gift or something. And then they had, and I never got it, and always wanted, was this statue of Superman from Kingdom Come. It was like this perfect, like it was like $300 or something, and never got it. But that was the one. That was the one for me. But yeah. So anyway, there we go.
Nice. Well, so happy to have you. Yeah. Let's talk Superman. So the question I always like to open with when we're doing these chats is, can you recount for us your first time discovering this movie? I know for some of us, it was our first times ever watching this movie. I know that was me, at least, and Jeanette too, I think.
Ridiculous.
The other 3 guys, had you seen this before?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Many
Yep.
times.
Oh my gosh, amazing. All right, so tell us the origin story. Josh, we'll start with you since
Okay, so
You're
I can.
a special
So,
guest.
oh my god, I'm gonna really try and make this short. I'm that person when when someone says long story short and then it's way too long. So I'm gonna
Long
try
story
and
long.
shorten it. So I was like 3 or 4, and I was 3, and we were living downtown Toronto, me and my folks, and in the same complex was like my grandparents, and they had Superman 4: The Quest for Peace on VHS. So I watched that first, loved it because I was 3 or 4, and I loved, and then I'd read Crisis on Infinite Earths because that had come out a while back, and all of a sudden I got into Superman. And back in the day, you remember on TV they would play these like Saturday afternoon, and I had caught the second half of Superman 2, and right after they played Superman 1, and I was like 4 or 5, and that was it. Like then there was the hunt for the VHS for a couple of years, and yeah. So I loved it ever since. Yeah, I was like 4.
It felt so much like one of those classic
Yeah.
VHS movies.
I didn't watch it for this, but I have watched it so many times, including the extended version, including the Donner cut for Superman 2, and I did this on my buddy and I. We used to have a podcast a couple years ago, and we had watched it right around the time they were doing, the Snyder cut or whatever. And It's just, I know, yes, it can still be cheesy, certain things, but there's still so many things that hold up for me. Like, if we want to talk about it, like anything, like the way Jonathan Kent dies is perfect. It's
Spoiler.
perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Oh, I
Did
just
do
said spoilers. Yeah.
Spoilers for a 40.
Spoiler.
Spoilers for almost a 50-year-old movie. Sorry, guys. If anyone's watching, don't be that person is, I was going to watch it tonight. Ah, darn. Spoilers. But yes, the way he dies in that movie is still bang on because it's exactly the lesson Clark learns.
Yeah.
That no matter what he can do, flying around the earth, picking up things, flying faster than light, whatever, he still couldn't save his dad. And that's just like the way it's done, perfect. So yeah, anyway, I've talked a lot, so I apologize.
Oh, there's so much there. There's so much there I'm excited to dive into. But we'll circle back. Vince, how'd you discover this movie?
I watched it on TV a couple of times when I was a kid, and like I only remembered bits and pieces from my childhood. I think the first one and the second one were kind of mashed together, and I don't think I've ever seen the third one or any of the other old ones. I know I've seen the one we're gonna watch next week, and we can talk about that next week. But I tell you what, I went through a bit of a phase, like when I was a teenager, where I was like, Superman, he's good for kids, but he's boring, and like, who needs him, And I no longer feel that way, thank goodness, because like watching this movie, I see like he's important, we need him, the cheese is real, and the cheese is important. And if you have a Superman movie without cheese, then like, you take away a lot of his character. He's like, I don't know. I guess we'll get into it. But yeah, I really like this movie. I think it holds up, and it's extremely charming.
That's a good word. That's a good word. Speaking of charming, Lauren, you're charming.
Yes.
But also, how'd you discover this movie?
Well, I was 9 years old when the movie came out, and 1978. The late 70s were like the time of the beginning of like blockbusters, and I went to go see. Had my mom and dad take me to see this movie, and I was engrossed. I read the comic book, so I was really excited about seeing Superman on screen. But Christopher Reeve as Superman just brought new life. The whole thing was that the movie made you believe a man could fly, and it really did, especially for that time period. But even today, by today's standards, there are moments in there that just look so beautiful in terms of his flying, and I loved it. I still love it. I still watch it like at least a couple times a year. I still watch it. So
Fun.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear from the folks who watched it for the first time, Jeanette and I, who have basically no nostalgic connection to this film.
Yeah, none.
Yeah, Jeanette, how was it for you?
I mean, I'd heard my dad talk about this movie, whatever. Even to clarify, I'm 38. It's not like I'm like terribly young. I'm not like, oh my God, I've never heard of this movie before. I don't know who Christopher Reeves is. But like, I just at first had never seen it, and then kind of adamantly hadn't seen it. I was like, nope, never seen Superman, never went out of my way to see it. Probably could have seen it. Fell into the Marvel thing, and the only DC person I liked was Batman, like everybody else, and that was how that went. So
Shots fired.
yeah, so that was how that went. And I always did think Superman was a little smarmy and a little like goody two shoes and a little boring, for lack of a better word. And that was where I went. And then they started involving Batfleck, and I was like, well, now I'm really not going to get involved. So I gave up on Superman until I saw that James Gunn has Superman, and now I'm super excited. And now I'm going to do this month, and now I'm going to be excited about Superman. So he's achieving what he wanted, and the movie's not even out. I'm already more excited about Superman than I was yesterday. So I've seen this movie now. and I've seen this movie now. That's kind of how I feel about it. I will continue to watch the other Supermans because I want to watch the Richard Pryor one because that's the one I'm the most excited about.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
dude,
great.
I don't think that's on the list.
It's not,
it is
but
a
I'm gonna watch
slapstick
it.
comedy, man.
Yeah,
It's-
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. That
Wait
is
till
the
you
one
see
I really
Richard
want to
Pryor as
watch.
a general.
What?
just
This has
have
made
some
me
popcorn
like,
and some alcohol, and you'll be fine.
Oh,
hey, two of my favorite things. So I am not super excited about this movie after having watched it. It was good. It was great, but like it has made me want to watch the rest of the Supermans somehow. So that's
Solid.
where this movie left me.
yeah. This movie, it made me want to watch at least Superman 2 because there's that clip that just shows up on the internet every once in a while where they're like, look at what a good actor Christopher Reeve is because in one shot he switches characters. And I'm like, oh, when's that scene happening? That didn't happen. So I feel like it's in
What?
Superman 2.
No, it's in Superman 1.
It is? No, the one where she
Yeah.
like tries to shoot him and then he's like,
Oh no!
Oh, yeah,
okay,
that was a
that's
screen
that's
test.
the Donner cut.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
that's Superman 2, but the Donner cut.
Yeah.
It's
I have
super-
to find the special edition to see that scene in context.
Yeah, okay, because he does it in a different way in the second one. Okay, because there's so much to talk about. Because Richard Donner filmed 1 and 2, right?
Right.
But he gets fired halfway through 2
Yep.
because they had gone over budget for the first one, and anyway, that's a whole big thing. And then so they bring in Richard Lester. But in order for Richard Lester or any director like Joss Whedon or whoever to get the director credit, they have to film so many scenes. There's so much of the movie. So he refilmed scenes like that gunshot scene. So there's a lot more slapstick humor in the released Superman 2, which I still think is a great movie, but it's notorious for like the floating S shield and stuff like that. But I'd say, yeah, watch the Donner cut. There's still some weird, not really finished certain CGI, but it's a really good movie still. So yeah,
I'm so glad you told me that and saved
Yeah.
me having to watch the not Donner cut and then get
honestly,
angry.
they're both good though. They really are both good movies, legitimately.
Yeah.
Especially for 1980.
Mhm.
But the Donner cut, the fact that his vision, that ties in more to the first one. Like it feels like a continuation where the second one has hints of it, but it's still slightly different.
That
I thought you were
scene-
talking about was when he
Oh, when he takes off his glasses and then he's like, oh, so I have to tell.
he's like
Oh,
Lois, and then he puts it back on, and it's like that, like silent beat, phenomenal acting.
Oh, yeah.
that scene was actually the screen test of Christopher Reeve. Like they were doing a kind of how would him and Margot Kidder, what would their chemistry be like? And so they didn't have that scene for the Richard Donner version when they cut together something, so they put that in, and you'll see it because they look very different from the rest of the movie.
Really?
Yeah, you'll have to check it out.
Well, Christopher Reeve, notoriously, if you look through certain parts of Superman 2, I think, and even Superman 1, he gained so much muscle. He gained like 40 pounds of muscle. So like there were times it fluctuates where he is a little slimmer, and then it's like, holy crap, like this is a 6'4", like whatever, because he trained with Darth Vader, right? Like David Prowse or whatever his name was. Like, yeah, so that carried. So yeah, exactly what you're saying, Lauren, was the screen test. So he was slimmer, and then yeah.
That's good. So were both movies shot at the same time? Was it like a Pirates situation?
Yeah. They initially were filming Superman 1 and 2 back to back, and I think they had to stop filming because they fired Richard Donner, and that's why Gene Hackman didn't come back for a lot of Superman 2. They used a double, they used a voice double, and you wouldn't know. I mean, maybe if you really dissected, you could, but yeah. And there's this whole thing with Marlon Brando. He wouldn't come back, and he got super rich off of Phoning It In, and even Phoning It In, he's Marlon freaking Brando.
He was
Like-
still so good. He was still so good.
I
Yeah,
find the
he
lore
read his
behind this
dialogue off a
movie
diaper.
to be the lore behind this movie is almost more interesting than the movie. Like
How dare you.
I've like watched videos with all the stuff y'all are talking about it, and I was like, oh, this is extremely interesting. I really love this. While you're on the Marlon Brando thing, in a nod to your green background, what about the green suitcase? The green suitcase and the bagel. That's hilarious. That the
What?
thing is that true? Where he wanted to be the character of Jarrell to be a green suitcase or a bagel. He wanted the father. There was something about a green suitcase where he wanted the character to be like an inanimate object, and he like just threw out suggestions like a green suitcase or a bagel, which
No,
then immediately made me think of
I did
Everything
not
Everywhere
know.
All at Once. I'll send you
Oh
the
my
clip
God.
of the
Streetcar Named Desire, bagel.
So I was
Like Marlon Brando, man. Whew.
that
Then
was
he
one of
finishes
the
with
little
the Island of
pieces of
Dr.
lore.
Moreau.
And I'm like, who knows if that's true, but it sounds right because it's Marlon Brando. But
I wouldn't put much past Marlon.
no,
honestly.
You know
exactly.
what? James Gunn can make it work though. Like that's
Oh.
the thing.
I feel like we need to just look in the new movie just to like find a bagel or a green suitcase somewhere. Then Marlon Brando can be credited.
It's
Possibly.
like Brando suitcases or something.
Exactly.
Like,
He had like all kinds of wild ideas when he showed up to set because he's Marlon
But-
Brando.
he literally, when he does that whole speech to Kal-El as a baby, he's reading the dialogue off of the diaper. It's
What?
written on the baby's diaper, and he didn't want to learn his lines.
That
Like-
makes a lot of sense. Can we
Yeah,
talk
and if
about
you-
how the baby got a diaper and how somehow we are okay with the fact that they did not cut this poor child like just
Poor
standing
naked
there?
Yeah.
I was like, do we need
This
this?
poor
Is this
kid.
necessary?
I was not prepared for that. I was like,
I don't
what?
think the child nudity was necessary.
What for Baby Don? What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
no, we didn't need child nudity,
The
but
child in
Yeah.
the ditch, just like
And then, you know, didn't they keep it? Oh no, I think they kept it with Man of Steel too. I was
What?
like, yo,
What?
just wrap it. He has blankets, man. Like,
like
you think he
can
was
we
like
just
tossing
cut the
and turning,
kid like from the waist up? It's not necessary.
you know what? You want the
Authentic.
real
Yeah.
story.
Lives on
You need
authenticity.
Baby-
Jeanette, this was the 70s.
That's true.
So Baby
Yeah,
Don
that's
was
true.
like,
It was
like,
still
I don't know.
it was still legal to smack your child. I forget. It was-
As we saw in this movie when the cat was saved.
Hey,
oh
you
my
didn't
god,
see
I was
it.
gonna get to that. Yes, I was like,
That was
excuse
great.
me?
I
Do
wish
they
you could
have
still
to
do
record
that.
a sound effect just for that? Now, lay down the sound for the child abuse and cue. Okay.
I
Yeah,
laughed
they
out
needed
loud.
the response.
Oh no, hang on.
They needed
I
the
like
Oh,
I like that he was saving the cat. I don't like that the kid was abused promptly afterwards. I just want to clarify.
yeah, and Superman left
Win-
that
win-
part.
win.
Superman was like, "Here's your cat,"
Yeah.
and there you go.
He should have come back. Like, hey,
Like there's a
I
reason
heard
that
that.
cat was in the tree. Anyway, oh wait, I didn't talk about what I thought of the movie.
Yes.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What did I think? Overall, I really liked it. I had no idea what to expect from this movie because it's been so long that it got to the point where I almost felt like I had seen it, even though I hadn't.
you've seen clips.
I had
probably.
it in clips, and like I've seen Christopher Reeves in so many other things that I just assumed that I knew what
Yeah.
his Superman was like. And yeah, what really shocked me, well, a lot of things shocked me. Child nudity shocked me, but in more productive ways, what really shocked
Like-
me was first off how long this movie is, for better or for worse, or a little bit of both.
It's 2 hours.
Oh, the cut I watched was like 2.5, according to Amazon Prime, but that might have been.
Oh,
with minutes. But it was long.
You might have got the international TV cut. I think that has like 30 more minutes in it.
That's what it felt like. But no, I think I appreciated out of that. There were sequences that I personally wish had been shorter, but I like that this was made at a time when they
Yeah.
like took time for things like
Yeah.
the flying scene with Lois. I think is my favorite scene in the whole movie, and I just love that they took time with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't
that
think you
whole
watched
flying scene.
the theatrical version though.
I don't
Just
think I
big
did. Yeah.
deal. The theatrical version I think was like just around 2 hours. Like
That's
two
what
and-
it should be. I want.
I think
Yeah.
it was like, yeah. Anyway, sorry. to
that
cut you off.
that flying scene, did that not feel slightly like the Star Wars Christmas special to you? Did that not get
Well,
I
a
never watched
little
it.
like, I'm sorry, with her voiceover sounds, it was
Right.
very Star Wars Christmas
Yeah.
special to me.
But that's
It gave
just
me
because
vibes.
Lois sounded like
Oh, you didn't like Margot Kidder's song speak?
Oh my god!
It
You know
was
that was actually
poetic.
supposed
It
to be a pop song. They were gonna record that as a pop song, and then they're like, "No, just say it. Just
Oh,
speak
yeah.
the words."
Oh,
I
went to that
I
like
heard
No
it
Beat
all
song.
back
If you
in the
could
day.
read my mind.
I
Oh,
can't.
and my biggest takeaway, I was shocked at how much this felt like Hercules, like Disney's Hercules, to the point where I feel like Disney ripped off Superman.
They did. They did.
They did. They fully beat
They
for
they
beat,
literally did.
like to the
Okay.
point of like going and seeing the monument of his godlike father in this chapel-like area, and then like him teaching him how to be a hero, and then
Yeah.
his girlfriend dying and him reversing the dying. I'm like,
He gets adopted by an elderly couple.
Yes.
He's found in the crib. Like, yeah, oh yeah, dude. All
yeah,
of
like
that.
when he's a
He's
teenager,
passed
he has
down
no
from his
friends.
planet. Yeah. Or Mount
Yeah,
Olympus. Yeah.
and I love Disney's. I feel like Disney's Hercules
too.
took everything that was good about this movie and made it even better.
And look, the
Hmm.
hero's a ginger, which I'm so down with.
There you go.
Just being because we're never gingers. Mind you, I'm more gray than anything now, but still.
But still, you're a ginger at heart.
At heart.
His way.
And I do have a soul, I think.
Exactly.
Kind of.
So we've kind of circled around it. How do we feel this movie holds up? It's an it has such an interesting place in history because it's one of, I think, if not the first major superhero movie. And now we're in an era of just like everything is a superhero movie. But this was such an odd man out at its time.
It was the first one taken seriously, like, because you had the Batman 60s, which was technically a movie, but it was like 4 episodes in one kind of thing, and then you had the old Kirk Allen movies from like the 40s, but like this was the first. They wanted to see if it could actually be a hit and be taken seriously. And at the time, you had Jaws had been released a few years earlier. That was technically the first summer blockbuster, and this kind of, after Star Wars, and then this kind of continued it. So I mean, it was a big gamble, and I mean, there's like Otis, that the whole goofy henchman. Sure, maybe not. Maybe you wouldn't see it now, but sometimes you do. I don't know. I think it has so much rewatchability. I think Christopher Reeve is one of the most charismatic presences on screen, and he just oozes like Superman for me. And yeah, so I think it holds up.
Yeah, I think overall it holds up more than it doesn't. What I really liked and what surprised me was the campiness, which I didn't expect. I don't know what I expected, but I feel like it falls really nicely in this sphere where in some ways it feels like those classic older Batman like TV series, specifically in like the villain scenes, which just feel very henchman-y and very cartoony almost. But I think it's balanced so well by the heart, and especially by Christopher Reeves, because he's so good. But I think even more so than that, like you alluded to it, Josh, or outright said it, the scene with his dad, like that one scene where they're walking, and I think that's such a key moment that made me really appreciate the movie and feel like the heart of it holds up. And I feel like that's why it's stuck around in our consciousness so much, because if it wasn't as grounded in moments like that as it is, I wouldn't consider it a good movie.
I think, like, again, I don't want to like take over this thing, but like in that one scene, that one conversation, enough of Jonathan Kent, what he says about him, like, you're put on this earth for a reason. And then you see why Clark takes on the responsibility, because he can't do everything, but he has to do something, So it's like, it tells you enough, and without over explaining anything. And I think that is some actually really well written dialogue for me.
Yeah, I agree. Like that scene happened, and it made me understand Superman in a way that I didn't really before. Granted, I didn't have much context because I don't know Superman that well, but it just made me sort of understand like the key to this character is the fact that he had this very grounded, humble upbringing, like with these people. Like it made me appreciate the value of those characters. And yeah, I think it was beautiful. But yeah, Vince, how do you think it holds up?
I think it holds up extremely well. It's so rare to see something like this these days. Well, like a movie that takes its time and Superman's so likable in this, and like there is no internal conflict on his part. Truth, justice, and the American way. He just wants to be a good guy, and I appreciate that like I don't know, something about seeing Superman save a cat from a tree. That's so much more rich than like a lot of the
Snapping a
schlock we
dude's
see
neck?
in the modern
Yeah.
modern film. Yeah. I don't want to see him do that. Yeah.
Just be
And
like,
hey, it's coming up. We're gonna.
Which
This
movie
will
does
be
he snap a guy's
spoilers.
neck? When does he
Hey.
snap someone's neck?
Oh,
I don't know.
Man of Steel. Man of Steel. That's the one
Yes.
you watched.
I know it. I forgot it. It wasn't a memorable movie.
Thank you. Oh, yep.
So
Damn, I wish I could be there for that one.
I think this movie is a very interesting time capsule, and I'm glad it's there for us to watch. And it's not going anywhere. We'll always have Christopher Reeve's Superman. Hey, you know what's interesting? There was a 1950s Superman TV show, black and white, and that guy was played. That actor's name was George Reeves.
Right.
But
And they're
there's
not
no
related.
connection. No
Yeah, it's
connection.
George
No,
Reeves.
there's no relation.
And well, dude, look up that whole story, because that is fascinating Hollywood inside stuff. Because both of them, their lives ended tragically, but
shit.
in very different ways.
Yep.
Oh.
Let's
I
leave
feel
it
like
at
I
that.
saw a movie about it. I think it's called
Hollywoodland.
Hollywoodland. Yeah, where Ben Affleck plays George Reeves.
He's played
Can
Superman
he
and
just-
Batman.
Can he stop playing superheroes? Because none of them are good.
He was okay in
Yeah.
Hollywoodland.
Yes, Ben Affleck is good given the right material.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, he's
Kevin
given
Smith
material.
movies. That's about it.
Chasing Amy, come on.
That's a
Phenomenal.
yeah, exactly. My
Phenomenal.
point exact was my favorite Ben Affleck and Mallrats.
Yes. See,
Just saying,
Yes.
can he stop with the superheroes?
well, he needs to stop with like I was glad he got out of Snyder stuff, but like,
Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, Snyder
Yeah.
needs to stop Snydering. So
I've not endured any Batfleck movies. One
no,
day.
I won't. I refuse to.
When
Yeah.
next year when Batman month happens. Yeah,
Mm.
Lauren, Jeanette, how do you think the movie holds up?
Lauren, how do you think it holds up?
I loved, I mean, like I said, I grew up with this film. So I watched it in its initial release. And I even the campy parts, I mean, you know, they had Gene Hackman and Ned Beatty, two legends. Valerie Perrine as Mr. Smucker. And
Otisburg.
That was so good.
Glenn Ford was in it as his father. I mean, like, these were like legends propping up Christopher Reeve, who didn't need propping up really, and Marlon Brando, of course, you know. But the rest of them didn't phone it in like Marlon Brando did. But it's just always, to me, it's like a movie from my childhood that I love, and I will always love it.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeanette, how do you think it holds up? I feel like you've kind of touched on it, but you like, yeah.
I mean, like, as far it feels, having this being my first watch of it, and but again, like you, having seen enough scenes of it to feel like I've seen a third of it already. It's like it feels dated. It's gonna feel dated because it's my first time watching it beginning to end. Viewing it with fresh eyes, like I would like just a whole movie on Krypton. Like that was the part that I liked the most. I was like, just give me this world and
this TV
expand
show.
on. Well, exactly. Like I've gone down that rabbit hole of finding all the different medias that they had for it. So I'm like, oh, this will be a cool thing to kind of look into more. I like that the most. I don't like the Smallville stuff. That is my least favorite part of anything. And then I like the Superman stuff, but I like the parts with the most comedy. So like, I think I like Grown Up Superman with a lot of comedy. And so I think as far as how it holds up now, I think if you made this movie this way now, people would tell you it was disjointed, but because it was made when it was perfectly fine storytelling, and it is. It's perfectly fine storytelling. I don't mind it.
I think what's
kinda
good
how I
about
view
it, I think like to go off of like, I don't know if it's necessarily disjointed. I think there would be more interspliced, maybe flashbacks or something. But I think
or
with
they
this
would
one,
serialize it. more.
Yeah,
They would
but
make
I
it a
think-
series, and they'd be like, for 2 seasons we're
Yeah.
here, for 2 seasons we're here, and
Yeah.
2 seasons we're here.
I think with this movie though, it's very clear where each act ends.
Yeah,
Like when
very.
Superman is flying to the camera out of the fortress, it's like boom, there you go, end
Yep.
of Act 1 or whatever, or Act
Yeah.
1. Yeah, I guess
And
Act
nothing is unexplained. It's not like they jump
Yeah.
from one to the other with things untied. It's just that's not really like you look at it and you're like, oh, that's not how we do things now. Like that's not how we tell comic book stories now. But it was good for this one because it's how it worked. They made it feel very, especially the scene where he's like crying over Lois's body. I could see like real comic booky, like serious comic book imagery and the feel. And I feel like cutting it up like that makes it very comic book.
Yeah.
It works.
Again, what's great about that scene too, and this is like going on, like Christopher Reeve was a Juilliard trained actor, right? He was best friends with Robin Williams. You know, Robin Williams dedicated his Golden Globe thing, like Lifetime Award, to him. And but when he sees Lois dead, and he takes it in, like a lot of comics will just, or movies will just like, it'll just be like a beat, like no, and then gone. But like, you see him literally get there, and I was like, that is like, again, you don't see a lot of process with some acting. So just going off of like acting standpoint, his choices were really good.
And the cinematography in that scene where they cut to different, where the car is just in different parts of the shot, that's how it would look in the comic book. If you went panel to panel, it'd be like dot, or whatever, like thinking over his head, like he's simmering. And then he takes off in anger, you know? So that scene specifically was like, oh, well, this chop up kind of makes sense because it's really fitting into this like panel style storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I want to circle back to the Juilliard thing because I do think that's a key. Well, not just Juilliard, but just Christopher Reeve in general. Reeves or Reeve? Is it a single?
Reeve.
Yeah, I think that's
plural.
Are there multiples of him? Who knows? If only
he's got clones.
Right? That's the dream. Yeah, I think that's just such a key to this movie working, and not even just him. I think it's just such a well-acted movie across the board, which I almost feel like we didn't see for a long time in superhero movies until now, sort of this MCU era. Like when I think to the Batman movies and the things that came in between this franchise and where we are now, like I think of, for example, like Elizabeth Olsen / Paul Vision.
Paul Bettany?
Yeah, Paul Bettany. And just how during WandaVision, especially in a lot of the promo stuff, people were just focusing on how these are two highly trained actors and accomplished actors who are putting like the extent of their training and the same reverence to this material that if they didn't approach it with that level of commitment, it would be ridiculous because ultimately like WandaVision is a show about a witch and a robot living life. Ridiculous, but it's so grounded. I feel
Anthony Hopkins as Odin.
Exactly.
Like
like I think that's the key to this working. So let's have a moment of, I want to know everyone's favorite thing about Christopher's performance, like your favorite specific thing. If there's a moment, a line delivery, a choice, like what stood out to you as just a wow, this is elevated.
Mine is his switch from Clark Kent to Superman. I mean, like 1 minute he can be, just this bumbling guy, and then all of a sudden he's like, bum ba bum ba bum ba bum bum, Superman,
and
and you just, to me, that's the greatest part of his performance, is being able to convince you that they're two different people.
Yeah, to your point, my favorite thing about the switch is it is extremely. It's not. I'm not the first person to point it out, nor will I be the last. That it's completely preposterous that a pair of glasses and a swoop of hair would disguise anybody. And his way of almost looking into the fourth wall when he does it, especially that scene that was mentioned earlier, where he like literally like pays attention to the fact that when he takes his glasses off and puts them on, that's what makes the difference. Like the fact that he can look into the eyes of that and embrace it, and that's why it's believable now, because he's able to do that. And not try to come up with some weird cockamamie way in acting to make it work. Like he's just like, I'm gonna embrace the fact that we all understand that this is ridiculous, but yeah, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, and this isn't even something I observed, it's something that people have pointed out that I just really was able to appreciate when watching the movie is the shift in the placement for his voice between the two characters, which is just so subtle but so masterful.
Mm-hmm.
I think that reflects in his physicality too, but even just, and it's there in the scene where he takes off his glasses and puts them back on, just kind of going into like a more nasality place for Clark versus a chestier sound, a fuller sound for Superman, and to be able to do that in such a subtle way that reads for film without being too much is so brilliant.
He doesn't even really do it as a nasally thing. He literally just manages to switch from like a tenor to like a deep baritone. Right. Like and it doesn't sound like, that's the thing. If anyone has seen Kill Bill, right? The way there's this monologue David Carradine gives about Superman and talks about that Clark Kent is his satire on humanity, and I'm like, that's partially right. I think I just believe like the way Christopher Reeve is delivering Clark Kent is not a way that he's making fun of anything. It is a disguise. But the thing is, he is both of these people. He's not just one or the other. Mm-hmm. And so as well, like going off of that whole just because of glasses, it's also going off of people's perception. People don't think of Superman as having a secret identity. People think Superman is his own thing. So they're not necessarily, they played it off in the 50s, 60s, whatever, that they're always, what's his identity? You know, Lois always trying to figure it out. But like, it's more the fact that he's just trying to fit into society as opposed to make fun of it.
Yeah. And I think that was one of the things that resonated with me and made me appreciate this movie, and also connect the dots back to Hercules, was that element of the outsider trying to fit in. But then actually, this is one of the things I want to discuss. Do we feel like Clark Kent is truer to his actual self, or Superman is? Like, in watching it and just thinking about like how much we got of his history and his past, I just got the impression like Superman is his like drag persona almost, and Clark is closer to who he actually is, even though I do think he's hamming it up a little bit. But like, which version of them is more the real him, or is it a combination? Like, what did everyone sense, at least in this movie?
I don't know. I always got the impression that like Clark Kent is who Kal-El was conditioned to be, and Superman is who he aspires to be. You know, and I don't know. I didn't mean for that to sound deep or anything. But
no,
that's my take.
Yeah. There's this great line in Lois and Clark.
With Dean Cain?
Yeah, fair enough. But he basically says, Clark is who I am, Superman is what I can do. And it's like,
I like that.
You know, I almost felt like it was like, I felt like Superman was who he really is, because they even say at the beginning, like, well, how will he fit in? He'll have to be, you know, and they're like, well, he'll have to, you know, and he has to pretend all the time. And it almost felt like, for lack of a better description, it felt like Clark Kent is him masking. Like, I am, this is me, this is what I want to do, this is what I actually urge to do and want, like, I want to do these things with my powers, but I can't do that because it would freak everybody out. So I'm going to hold it inside until it's needed. So like it feels like masking to me.
I think it's just there's sort of deepness to it. Like, obviously he doesn't need the glasses. I do believe his voice is naturally deeper. Like when he is just talking as Superman, that's his voice. But their core beliefs, like, he's not a bumbling guy. He's not someone who even trips, right? He can do things that nobody can.
Yeah, he does it to make everybody else comfortable.
Yeah, I think their beliefs are the same. Like, they would still, it's just he acts bumbling. He acts a little silly, but it's still I think there's still some part of him there, though.
There's a whole thing about Batman. Bruce Wayne is who Batman really is, and Batman is his disguise. But Superman is Superman, and Clark Kent is his disguise.
See, it would be the other way, though. Like, right now, most comic pundits or whatever would believe Batman is who Bruce Wayne is. Bruce Wayne is his disguise. Like,
Mm.
even look at The Dark Knight, look at the last Batman movie. He doesn't know how to be Bruce Wayne. He only wants to be Batman, right? So it's like where there. So again, I think there's just more to it, because I just think that Superman is both people. It's just how to behave around people, and he figures it out. Like, I don't know.
I guess to that point, I was also disappointed in Lois that she didn't like Clark, because I was like, Clark's charming. Why are you ignoring Clark? It's basically the exact same thing, just like in different wrapping paper.
Yeah, I don't feel like they made Lois especially likable. I don't feel like she's an especially.
Yeah,
I don't want to be her friend. I don't have a crush on her. Like, I did not personally, as a viewer, I felt nothing. I was like, I don't know. He needs to find a nicer chick, because this chick's kind of rude.
Yeah, go for Tessmacher. She planted one on you anyway.
I always thought
and her poor mom in Hackensack, New Jersey.
I always saw Lois Lane as, again, she was two different people. So when she was with Clark Kent, she was like, you know, this person who was just always bossy. But then when she was with Superman, she was softer. And I thought that that was a really interesting thing.
I guess to me that read as just her not being a very nice person. Like her just respecting Superman slightly more, because not even slightly, significantly more, because he was more impressive. Even when they mentioned Clark, she's like, "Oh yeah, of course Clark likes me." Like, whatever.
She literally says, "Oh, Clark, he's nothing."
He's
I'm
not
like,
exactly.
Oh, that's very kind. Jesus.
Like, and he seems to be okay with it. Clarkerman, that's what I'm calling
Clarkerman?
both of them. Yeah,
That's
Clarkerman.
amazing.
Clarkerman just seems to be cool with it. He's like, yeah, she
Super
likes
Clark.
me like this. She doesn't care about me when I'm Clark, but like that's how it
Yeah.
is. No, you're the same soul. Come on, man. Respect yourself.
You know what I appreciate is that she's a smoker. You know, they depict her on screen smoking cigarettes back to back. In fact, there's a wonderful delivery from Chris Reeves where he's like, "Well, you know, you got to quit smoking, miss." And she's like, "Why? Because I'll get lung cancer." She's like, "Well, not yet, thankfully," or something like that. And I'm like, he's such a nice guy, giving her a little X-ray, making sure she doesn't have cancer.
Oh,
but
then it gets creepy. Then the X-ray gets creepy.
Yeah,
I suppose. But he was looking at her from behind, from the back.
He's looking at her
it's
lungs.
not like he was looking at her lungs. Anyway, regardless.
They do lay down the canon in that scene, though, that he can adjust the depth of his X-ray as much as he would care to, because he can see the underwear and he can see the lungs, which logically he can stop somewhere in between. So, just saying.
Which means it's something beyond an X-ray. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But to see through some organic material, but not other organic material.
Yeah. It's very selective X-ray.
All I was saying was Lois Lane, she's a smoker, and then when she smiled, her teeth were yellow. And I'm like, this is great. You know, it's not like modern Hollywood where everyone's got like denture implants.
I did not
dental implants.
Oh yeah,
that's amazing.
I'm like, this.
Imagine she had like tobacco,
smokes.
like this.
Yeah,
that's Hollywood.
The makeup on her wasn't too fabulous either, which this was like had to be right before they started to use like makeup with metallics in it, so that it gave a little shimmer. Very matte, very flat.
Very matte.
Totally.
They were doing nothing for Lois. Personally, I don't think.
Again, I feel like Lois didn't deserve it. There you go. I want to talk more about the Lois and Clark. Well, I was going to call it Lois and Clark. The Lois and Superman interview scene, because there were so many. I had so many thoughts. First off, I felt like the underwear was a little creepy. I thought my Superman, the Superman I thought he would be more of a gentleman and like not look. But then, granted, she did invite it, so she consented.
Well,
she did the
banter.
No, she asked him what color underwear.
Yeah, it was cheeky.
He's like, I think. Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't think he was like, well.
No, and I thought like the whole
why don't you
lead thing was his excuse to be like, I know you want me to look, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to blame it on the fact that I can't see through lead. But then she moves. He's like, oh, pink. I'm like, kind of creepy. But also, he gave away so much key information to her willy-nilly in that scene.
Yeah.
It really angered me. Why are you telling her everything about you to be published? That will be your downfall. And then it was. Why? Why did he do that? Someone who knows this movie better than
justice in the American
because
way.
he was in love with Lois Lane. But I wanted to get back to. Oh, now I totally lost my train of thought.
The underwear, the pink underwear, the lead.
Oh yeah, the underwear. You know, back then, the movie was made in mind for kids to like this film. You know what I mean? Like, it was not made for adults.
Kids love underwear.
Huh? And so, you know, in the comic books, there were always ads for things like X-ray vision glasses and things like that. And, you know, you always had that kind of tee-hee over like being able to see somebody's underwear or whatever, you know, or more. And I honestly think it was meant with that kind of innocence in mind.
Yeah, it makes sense. I keep forgetting that it's a movie from the 70s and they had slightly different standards. But even still, I maintain in the 70s, he didn't need to give away all of his key weaknesses in an interview.
Yeah.
That I agree with.
Did
the kryptonite thing was.
Did he talk about kryptonite though?
He didn't.
Oh, he didn't even know. He didn't even know
Yeah,
about
he didn't know
kryptonite.
about it.
That was another thing.
But he
How
did
did Lex
talk about
figure that
that.
out? How did Lex connect those dots so quickly? I was confused.
It's such a
don't
Hail
know.
Mary. It
I-
paid
I
off
just-
though.
It did.
It's some weird comic book science because he's like da 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 da, and if this will kill him, and you're like, what?
Well, I
How?
guess that's a
How did you
I
know
have
that?
about the lore, like in this world, in the world of Superman. Hold on, sorry, we're in a different order now, and I need to fix it just so I'm accustomed. Hold on. Then Lauren goes here, Josh goes here. There, we're better now. Yeah, in the lore / world of Superman, do the people of Earth just like casually know about Krypton and that it exploded? Like,
At this point, yeah.
I think you could read about it in like a science textbook. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, okay,
I think at this
I-
point, yeah.
Yeah.
okay, I feel better. I assumed it was like our
Th-
Earth. Where just
There's this thing going on in the comics right now, and I haven't really actually read a comic like a Superman comic in quite a long time, but there's this arc going on where a huge kryptonite meteor crashed in Earth, and now a city is making money off it. Basically, it's become the new metal or new. They even use it as currency or something. So, yeah, I think at this point, yeah, they know.
Okay, that makes me feel better. I think exposition could have been a little better there, just for me to not assume that this is a mirror of the Earth I live in, where we don't know about alien planets, let alone ones that exploded. But there it is. There it is. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there were any other weird little plot holes. Oh yeah, him flying around the world to turn back time. Let's
Oh, I don't
Why doesn't
consider
Cher
that a
song
plot
playing
hole.
there?
Is that not a plot hole?
That's not a plot hole to me. That makes sense. He's
Is that how
Superman.
it works?
Come on. Yeah.
That makes come on.
Like, come on. If
Anybody
anyone
can-
can do it, it's
Duh.
fucking Soup. He can do it. Sorry. No swearing in the Superman podcast. My bad. No,
But again, if he could do that, why didn't he do that for his dad?
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good question. Well, I guess he wasn't angry enough for his dad. I guess he just didn't love Pa Kent enough.
No, I
That-
think he didn't. We didn't see him fly as a kid though.
Oh yeah, true.
So it's possible.
Oh,
And again,
Right.
he learned all those lessons like you're forbidden to interfere and all that. But I think the reason why he even saved Lois is because he's thinking about what he couldn't do for his dad, and that's
Exactly.
Okay.
That he says that at the beginning when the father dies, that he has all
Yeah.
these powers,
Right.
but he couldn't do anything to, So I think when Lois died, he was going to move heaven and earth literally.
Yeah. I think it was a Hail Mary, like for him.
Yeah.
Just
See, and they're right. You really should always wear clean underwear in case you're in a car accident because somebody's gonna see them.
Definitely Superman.
Just exactly. You never know who's going to see him.
Exactly.
Well, I
He took a
noticed.
peek
I
then?
noticed.
He's like, ah.
But
I
I,
noticed
the
a
big
pothole
ones.
at the very beginning of the movie. I noticed. I've got a bit of a gripe because
which one?
Marlon Brando, he knows the planet's going to blow up, so he
He knows it's called
chooses to
Krypton,
save
not Krypton.
his son. He saves his son, which makes sense. But then he also saves these three like degenerate criminals. Why didn't
No,
he
they're
them
in the
on
Phantom
the
Zone.
planet?
Is that what-
Technically,
is that
yeah,
what
they're in
this
the
was?
Phantom.
They're in
They're
jail.
like they're in a
saved them.
non-existent plane.
And then they get to come back for the next movie, though. I like how they
Spoiler!
set up the. He's coming
Also,
back. They're
he
flying
spent-
through space.
Yeah,
It could have been Marlon Brando and his wife.
he
Well,
spent time
insane.
building this thing. She goes, "Are you ready?" And he's like, "Almost." And I'm like, presumably you've spent like a good amount of time building this thing. You couldn't have made it 3 times the size.
Oh no, but he didn't. He
Like-
Well,
promised
if he spent all that
council
time
he
building a
wasn't gonna
little
leave.
one.
Yeah, he told the other space people like my wife and I won't leave.
Yeah.
So it has to be.
Yeah,
All he had
okay.
to do was
The other
break the
space
law.
people.
If he broke his word, informed the public, broke the law, then they would have jailed him and then sent him into the Phantom Zone. So he
And
would have
then
been
he would have
floating
lived.
around.
But that
would've
was
lived.
the whole thing, is that the council was like, we're not gonna create a
Mass
frenzy
panic
or anything
or-
like
yeah.
that. Yeah, that we're all just gonna sit here.
We're just gonna
and
let the
whatever-
natural disaster
if
cause
we
global-
die, then we die.
Just like, don't look up.
That's actually what I thought of. I thought, oh, it's just
Yeah.
don't look up, but the superhero
Correct.
version.
The Krypton scene made me feel. I think the reason I liked it so much. What did I just knock
Does
over?
it
I
feel
don't
like
know.
Tron? Kind of
It
reminded me of
felt a little like Tron, but it also felt very early Epcot, and I was seriously vibing on the
Early
early Epcot
Epcot.
outfits. That made me very happy. So I think that's mainly why I liked Krypton.
it definitely gave global warming is real vibes before that was a thing. So listen to
I also
Ooh.
just wanted somebody to like play the bottles on those little tubes that go,
So like, some just like,
you know, or like crystal, like rub them with the, like they do the edges of the crystal glasses.
or like,
Like
yeah.
the-
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
and
I
then
don't know,
that's
it just looks like a lot of
James
fun.
Gunn.
the Superman theme. That'd be great.
he
Yeah.
pulls a shot out of it.
Yeah, no lie. I was like, how do you assimilate the knowledge off of these crystals? Like you shove them up your nose. Like what do you do?
I
with
was
these?
so
Oh my-
confused about the crystals. I was so
You
confused
rub it.
about the little Arctic palace, about his Elsa Ice Castle moment. I
You let it
personally
go.
wanted a whole movie about his training in the ice castle because it went so quickly, which I guess for flow, I appreciated that. Okay, good. Now he's Superman. But like, I wanted to know what happened to get like one old looking actor to turn into another old looking actor. Teenage Clark Kent looked very old. That was another gripe I had.
They were close in
Right.
age. It's Christopher Reeve's voice.
And that's
For-
weird too.
Weird.
It's so like I respect that it was his voice. And I do think the guy gave a really good performance, even though I couldn't hear his voice. But I wanted young Clark Kent to look younger because I was so thrown off. I thought, I
Well-
know that this is Clark. Why isn't it Christopher Reeve?
You should watch the Superboy TV series from the late 80s or early 90s. And yeah, that was filmed partially it was either Universal Studios or MGM.
Huh.
I want to say it was MGM. Yeah, that they filmed part of that series in, and it's in Florida. Not Smallville in the Midwest. It's in
Wait,
Florida.
wouldn't that have been filmed on the Warner Brothers lot?
The thing I saw the other day says the first season was filmed in MGM or Universal Studios,
Okay.
and then
I
after
remember
that,
watching
I
that
think
show.
it moved. Yeah, it moved to somewhere else. But the first season was filmed there. So yeah, I remember seeing something about that show, and then I saw this like history of it, and I was like, oh, well, that's pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to see, and what's funny enough, the kid they got, in my opinion, looks like the guy that's in this movie, just not as old as the guy that's in this.
Well,
movie.
there was two guys.
Yeah, there was
there's
one
two
in the
guys
first
that-
season, and then a different guy in the second two.
It's on brand, I guess. Just switch out who's playing Clark all the time.
Yeah.
It's all different Clarks. All different Clarks.
Right.
Yeah. It was so strange. He looked so old. He looks get a real teenager.
I mean, come on, you grew up with movies in the 90s. Did anybody in Scream or The Craft look like?
Oh my God, they were already 35.
Like, no, nobody looks like a teenager.
Oh, it's true. They don't. I think it just threw me knowing Christopher Reeve was coming and thinking this guy looks like he's the same age as Christopher Reeve. Why isn't it just Christopher?
Yeah.
His
And
voice
it's been 12 years.
Exactly. Right. Christopher could have pulled off being like a 17-year-old as much as the other fake teenagers in that scene, but yeah.
He could do a higher voice.
Exactly. And he went to Juilliard. He knows how to do it. So there we are.
Can we just talk about the John Williams score for a second?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that still gives me chills.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, when I'm kind of glad movies don't do credits anymore, because at the very beginning. But
Oh,
still,
I've said
the
that
way
too.
they're-
I was like, I'm so glad beginning credits are a thing of the past. I can't.
But
I
I still
can't
love
stand
the
it.
music.
But I
though.
like it. Yeah.
And then when he catches the helicopter, still,
Yes.
I still
Yeah.
feel like this.
It's-
Like it just, yeah. I love it so much. It's so much better than Hans Zimmer score. I'm sorry.
Couldn't even
Oh
tell
no,
you.
I totally agree with you. I was telling Matt it's my favorite score of John Williams, even
It's
more
amazing.
than Star Wars, even more than Indiana Jones, because it embodies both his life in Smallville and Krypton, Smallville, and Metropolis. You can hear all of the different kind of themes in the music, and it's just, to me, such an amazing score. But yeah, when he catches that helicopter, I mean, it just really adds to the excitement of that scene and who he is as his kind of first public appearance as Superman.
Yeah, I do. I think that scene holds up really beautifully.
Yeah.
I've said it many times. Maybe not on the show. Well, probably on the show. I hate CGI and I love practical effects. And the amount of practical effects in this film just makes me so happy. Especially, the helicopter scene and the flying scenes. There were
And all the wigs. The wigs are
the wigs are great.
the wigs are great.
I like Gene Hackman wearing his wig under his swimming cap.
Yes.
You can
Oh
see
my
it, you can
God.
see his little burns coming out.
Okay, coming from someone whose favorite Gene Hackman role outside of this was Welcome to Mooseport, this is
Oh, wow.
probably my second favorite Gene Hackman role, and he was like really my favorite part of the whole movie because I could have watched. He felt
great.
like he should have been in Austin Powers,
Yes.
and that made me very happy. I was like, I would love an Austin Powers movie if poor Gene Hackman wasn't gone now. An Austin Powers
I
movie,
know.
Gene Hackman as a villain, please.
Well, I guess
That'd be amazing.
to that note, again, I know next.
R.I.P. Gene Hackman, by the way.
But like,
Yeah.
R.I.P. most people in this movie.
Yeah, all
Seriously.
except for Jimmy, I think. Like,
which Jim? Oh,
Yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Mark
Long
McClure.
live Jimmy.
long live Jimmy. I wonder if he'll have a cameo. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So Lex Luthor. Is this movie an accurate portrayal of what that character normally is? Because usually he's bald.
No, not at all.
No,
Not at all.
not even at all. Not even at all. Hell, Gene Hackman had a mustache before filming, and he wouldn't shave it. And
Oh, really?
Richard Donner calls him up and is like, "Listen, if you shave yours, I'll shave mine." And so finally, Gene Hackman shows up on set, and Richard Donner has his mustache, and Gene Hackman's like, "What the hell?" And it was a fit, like he never had one, so he just rips it off.
Oh my God.
Gene Hackman's like, "What the hell, man?" Like,
Oh, I love
yeah.
that.
So yeah, look wise, not even at all.
But like, is the vibe the Lex Luthor vibe? Is this what I can expect from the About a Boy kid?
Maybe like
No.
early Lex, but like Lex, doesn't he usually like have like an Iron Man suit that he like paid someone to build, and it's got
Well,
Kryptonian fists and
No, well, I don't know. It always changes. Look, back in the day, Lex
Yeah.
was just a mad scientist, right? Then in the
Yeah.
70s, there was like this planet Lexor or something. Like it was wild. And then back when they rebooted DC after the Crisis on Infinite Earths, Lex became the business mogul. And I think they still consider him the smartest person on the planet. So I think what we're gonna see is business, obviously, because you've seen in the trailers for the new one, he's business mogul. We're not gonna get some weird ass Jesse Eisenberg version, but I think it'll be a little more comic accurate. But like, who knows? Like Lex is supposed to be really sinister, and he's supposed to have a plan for everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that in Smallville, the one or not in Smallville, I can't remember. It's something where they didn't make it that Lex was cunning and business smart, but he wasn't actually science smart. Where no, he is. He can build his stuff. Yeah, he'll get an expert on certain things, like for cloning or whatever. But yeah, he is someone that he should be able to put on a business face for the world so people like him. But behind the scenes, he is Elon Musk, right? Like, but
Ooh, interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So is
I always
in the Superman verse, or is it the Zod Man who's like in this movie for 2 seconds? Like, who's
What's
the main
that?
villain? Like, who's the main
It's gonna
villain?
be Lex.
Is it Lex? Is he like
Yeah.
one? Yeah.
Lex is running everything.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
I think my favorite depiction of Lex was in the Superman cartoon and the Justice League cartoon
Clancy
from
Brown.
like the 90s. Yeah.
yeah.
And in that, he's very smart, he's very rich, business mogul, but he gets the job done, and he's really good at what he does.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that this film it chalks it up to. I mean, they took 2 Academy Award winners and made them, these funny people. I mean, like Ned Beatty as Otis. It's so funny, considering some of the other roles that he's played. But it was again. For the time, it was
Otis
a
Berg.
children's film.
Yeah.
I guess I never thought of it as a children's film, or it being made with the intention of it being a children's film.
Yeah.
Well, you got to sell those toys.
Yeah, they just weren't taken that seriously.
I don't
whenever
think
this
it was made just as a kids' movie. Like, it's not a Mary Poppins. It's not a Pete's Dragon, or I don't know. What the hell's this kids' movie in the 70s? Like Aristocats? I don't know.
Yeah, it's not.
Like, it's not, but it is a 4-quadrant film, right? That's what you call it now.
It was definitely made with adults in mind, but also kids.
Yeah. Like, they're not going to show Superman.
So it's not just a kids' movie, I should say, but like an overall thing. But the kids are going to be more entertained by, funny Lex Luthor and Otis.
Interesting. So I guess kind of to that point, I'm curious to hear everyone's thoughts on what do you think makes a good Superman movie, and why do you think we're still making Superman movies? Because on paper, I feel like this is a character that doesn't have the potential to age necessarily well. He feels very optimistic and could be a very superficial way of just like, here's the American dream. It's a Superman. He's going to save everybody. And yet we keep coming back to it to varying degrees of success. So like, what makes a good Superman movie?
I mean, I think it is somebody who is selfless, that, we need heroes, basically. It just all goes to, we need heroes. And I think that he reflects this part of us that wants to do the right thing and be good and all of this stuff. I always think, a lot of people think that he's a boring character to write, but I think that he, with the right kind of writer, he's actually a great character. And I think that's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking right now. We're still saying how this film from 47 years ago holds up. So, like, the character of Superman can have slightly differences, but the core of the character, look, the reason why the DCEU, the Man of Steel movies and stuff, it wasn't Superman. There was no joy. There was no hopefulness. It was drab and, like, you didn't like. You should like if you're looking up, then that's the whole tagline of this new movie. Look up, and you're seeing this blue and red streak flying across the sky. You should feel some sort of hope, or some sort of like excitement, and like you should have a great villain that will test his beliefs, and you need to have a world that believes in him, and then their beliefs get tested. Like there needs to be facets to it, but it needs to be taken seriously. But the problem is, like, for example, in the 90s, when anti-heroes started becoming huge and everything had to be edgy, and look back at some 90s edginess, it's cringe as hell. But and so people wanted Deadpool, Wolverine, Punisher, Spawn. They wanted characters that like just killed their villains. And yes, okay, it's cool that Superman, or it's not cool that Superman doesn't do that. But I think if you're staying true to the value of the character, it's timeless. So it shouldn't so it might not be at the height of its popularity, but it's not something that people should look at it. Oh, that's a relic of the past. So.
Yeah, Josh, excellent point. I don't want to see Superman clear out a room full of mafia guys with a gun, because that's something Punisher would do. And I enjoy watching Punisher do that, because that's the character, and it works for the character. And with these heroes, with these it's basically a mythological figure, a modern mythological figure. You got to keep it within the character arc. In the old Greek days, if you start retelling Greek myths and doing major character departures, they'll start throwing rocks at you. And it's the same thing today. I stand by that.
Yeah.
Also, Otisburg was a fantastic joke. And I want to see Superman... I want to see Superman save an animal in every movie from now on, and minus points if he doesn't save an animal. Looking forward to the upcoming movie where an animal gets to save him. So,
Yes.
Crypto.
It's going to be good.
Is that dog canon? Is that dog from the
Yeah, it's Crypto.
Crypto,
There's a
man.
dog named Crypto?
Yeah.
That's his
Super
dog.
dog, yeah.
And he would guard the fortress.
He's been around since the 60s.
Yeah, he's
I think 50s.
He's older than this movie.
Supergirl had Streaky the Super Cat.
What?
And then there was this Kryptonian horse, but it wasn't really a Kryptonian. I don't know. That's when it was like they were
That
going
was a
all
horse
in.
of a different
There was
Yeah,
color.
they had like a
monkey.
whole thing of super pets.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
That movie a
the
couple years ago.
monkey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there is a Super Pets movie. I forgot.
I
about
want to know about this cat, though.
It's
Has
not
this
good.
cat ever been in a movie or TV show? Supergirl.
There's a Supergirl movie, but it's not supposed to be very good.
It's fantastically bad. It's great but horrible.
But is the cat
It's Helen-
there?
No.
I'm
Oh,
not-
well,
but
if the cat's not in
what's her
it, we
name?
don't need to see it.
What's her
now.
name? Is it Mia Farrow?
that
No.
sounds like a person.
What's her name? Oh, it's gonna bug me. The villain is.
Oh,
forget who plays it.
it's Faye
Is-
Dunaway.
Are we? Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I just watched a video
Yes.
about it today.
Yeah.
Hey, Dunaway.
Helen Slater plays Kara, and she looks great.
Huh.
She looks exactly out of the comics too. But the
Oh,
movie
right,
is
here
so
we go.
bad.
Supergirl.
It's so bad.
1984. Oh, yeah. Faye Dunaway, Helen Slater, Mia
Oh.
Farrow. Oh, Mia Farrow is in it. Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
And, yeah. Peter O'Toole.
I
You
love
know,
that.
I wonder if he plays the
movie.
cat. Imagine if he played
No.
the cat. Love that. Yeah.
Jimmy's in it. The guy who plays Jimmy.
Yeah,
he's in
He's
it.
the
yeah.
only carryover character.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
so it's
wanted
the
to
same
get-
universe. That's fun.
Yeah, they wanted to get Christopher Reeve in it. And he said no at first, and I think it's because of how bad Superman 3 was.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said he would do it, but it was I can't remember why he couldn't. Maybe he was filming something else. But there was a poster of him in the movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
But that's about
Continue
it.
the legacy. Continue the legacy.
They say he's off planet, like saving another galaxy or something like that. Because they would know.
When that movie came out, I saw that movie so many times in the movie theater.
I have the VHS.
It was, I mean, it is not a good movie, but it's so campy. It's fun.
And her best friend is Lucy Lane,
Oh my god.
Lois' sister.
Hilarious.
And
I'm
I
following
love
that rabbit
well,
hole.
One of
You're
my
like, ah, damn. So when Supergirl comes out,
Then we have to do the Supergirl marathon and watch the whole series and the other
yeah,
series.
exactly.
watch The Flash,
Oh, too much. Which Flash though? The TV
The
show
movie.
the one with Ezra? Oh no,
No, because
no.
there was a version of Supergirl in that movie.
no.
That movie was terrible. There's also Christopher Reeve in that movie.
Oh wow!
I forgot about that. I saw.
Back from the dead.
The worst CGI ever.
Is it? Is it though? Is it worse than
Oh.
when they got rid of Henry Cavill's mustache to be Superman in some other movie?
Yeah.
No, it was pretty
Okay.
bad.
That was it.
I mean, that looks bad. That looks
Yeah.
real bad. But like this literally looks like you're playing a video game.
Oh, I hate that.
You know, it looks like you're playing a PS1. Oh, cutscene. It was that was so bad.
Well, DC is just interesting and funny. There's a reason I haven't gone down this rabbit hole earlier because the movies
You're
are
like, what have I done?
I know, what have I done now? And I think this is going to be like a Pirates of the Caribbean situation. If I choose to watch more Christopher Reeves movies, they'll just get progressively worse as I go on.
You know
Yeah.
what? 1 and 2 I think are still great. The third one, oh god.
The third one where the lady turns into a robot briefly, then dies.
But
I'm
she
so
doesn't
excited.
die.
This sounds like
It's
everything I
beautiful.
want in a
It's-
movie.
Listen, if you were a child watching that, it gave you nightmares.
I'm sure
I
it
was
did.
Like it. Whoa.
Nightmare-inducing slapstick comedy. That is right up my alley. That is
There you go.
seriously perfect.
Also,
There you go. Yeah, no, give it a watch. Like if you're gonna
It's
commit
sounding more
to
and
the
more
bit.
like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which I'm totally down with.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Oh my
pretty
God.
much what it is.
Is it
Oh my
Superman's
God.
Big Adventure? That's great.
Just without talking furniture. Like,
I love it.
oh, exciting. Also, this has nothing to do with anything. I just saw that Mario Puzo has a screenplay or has a screenwriting credit, aka
Yeah.
the guy who created The Godfather.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
he wrote
yeah.
it.
He wrote this.
That's great.
they got
incredible.
non-comic book people to write this.
Yeah, and I think it more or less paid off to varying degrees. Yeah, no, there's a lot here. There's a lot to discuss in the future. But anyway, let's move on to the game. Hooray! Oh yeah, Josh, there's a game. We always play a game.
The game?
Yeah.
Always
Game.
a game. Well, except during banned book month because everything was too depressing to have a game.
Exactly.
Oh,
Like, how do you make a game out of The Handmaid's Tale? Even though we kind of did, but
Or 1984.
what is happening?
yeah, exactly. So for tonight's game, it's in honor of John Williams because he composed the score for this. So we're doing fan favorite, Guess That Hum. And so,
Ah,
yeah. So how this will work is one at a time. You will be the hummer. Everyone who's not the hummer will close their eyes, and I
This
will.
sounds This sounds real. The
It's
Hummer.
intense.
Okay.
It's intense. I'm going to put the title of a movie that John Williams composed the score for on the screen. The hummer will then have to hum the theme song from that
I
movie.
hate you.
The first.
Oh.
Oh no, you're going to do great. It's going to be great.
Dude, I
Music
don't
theater
sing,
trained,
man.
Josh. You're music theater trained. You'll be
Damn it.
excellent at this.
and you're allowed to doopy doo and boopy boo too.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
do.
so we can
Title
scat.
Yeah, you can
great.
scat your way through it.
Yeah.
First person to
Let's
guess
do
it,
jazz riffs.
get the point. Yeah. Oh, please jazz riff it. It'll be amazing. I can't remember how I did points for the hummer. I guess if someone gets it, like
Say
it's
the word Hummer.
yeah, maybe this game will just be called Hummers going forward. Anyway, yeah, that's how it goes. So Jeanette will be first because she's there on the screen.
Oh,
Everyone who's not Jeanette,
voice of an angel.
eyes,
Okay.
divert your eyes, and the first person to guess it will get the point. Here we go. Jeanette, this is your hum. Okay, we may look now. Jeanette, please hum.
Great. I have Superman stuck in my head now.
They all bleed together.
Oh my God. I can't believe I can't think of anything because I have Superman stuck in my head. This is so bad.
That's part of the game because they all sort of
Oh
sound
my
the same.
God. They do all sort of
They all
the same.
sounded.
I can't do it right
You can
now.
do
Oh
it.
my God. Oh my God. Stop. Stop thinking about Superman. I can't stop thinking about Superman.
Think of a
Isn't he
Beatles
dreamy?
song.
Nope, it's Superman. I can't. It keeps turning
Indiana
into
Jones.
Superman in my head.
Oh no.
Yeah, was that Raiders?
Nope. See, I keep going. You're right. I know it's not Raiders. I keep going. Oh my God, Matt, what did you do to me? I really want to take myself out
Jurassic
back
Park.
and shoot.
Home
Well,
Oh my
Alone.
god. No. Hold on. I'm gonna do
Josh
it.
and Vince have
The
both
Lost
used their.
World.
Oh, you
It's
only get
literally-
one guess. So Lauren,
She
is-
like
Oh.
okay.
I can't believe you just embarrassed me like that. Oh my god. This is so bad. No, it was Star Wars, guys. I'm so sorry.
What?
Oh my
Oh.
God.
I literally kept trying to start doing the
Come
Hero
on,
March and it
no.
kept going dun da 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 da.
do,
And I'm like, no, this is Superman, and then I go the other way, and it was Raiders, and I'm like, which way am I going?
Come on now.
Yeah.
All right, next, Lauren, you're the Hummer. Divert your eyes if you're not Lauren.
Okay.
All right,
Hmm.
we may look now.
Bum ba-dum bum.
Indiana
Jones.
Yes, Jeanette, you got that. There we go. Good helping, Lauren.
It would have been so much easier if it was Jurassic Park or Indiana Jones. Because it was Star Wars and it
Ridiculous.
feels so freaking close.
Would
to
have,
Star
but all right. Next is Vince. Look away if you're not Vince. Good luck.
Oh.
We may look now.
Mhm.
E.T.?
No, that's not.
Yes.
Hey!
Oh,
It
wow.
was either Close Encounters or E.T. I knew that.
Wow.
Vince, that was
Damn.
so
Kinda
good.
close, right?
That was
Damn.
What was the answer?
E.T.
E.T. E.T.
Oh.
and Close
I
Encounters
haven't
sound
watched
very
E.T. in
similar.
like 30 years.
It was
Oh,
so good.
Yes, yes, Jeanette.
Wow.
Do 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 do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, see, even that one, see,
Damn.
All right,
Damn it,
it's
John
Josh's turn.
Williams. And
Look
you're
away if you're not
talented?
Mr. Josh.
Okay, wait. Where do I see this?
It's gonna be on the screen. There we go.
Okay, wait. Time. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, we can look now.
It's easy. Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
Jeanette got it. All right, Jeanette,
favorite.
this is your time to redeem yourself. Look away. if
oh
you're not
god. Okay.
Okay, we can look.
Dun, 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 dun. Isn't that how it goes? Isn't that how it goes in this movie?
What is happening? Did I have a stroke?
Indiana Jones?
The Last Crusade.
No, but
No.
they're all the same. Wait a second. Okay, it's a different.
Bob?
Bad.
Well, what?
All I have is that beginning part.
Oh my God.
Can I
And
guess
that's
again?
in like 4 John Williams songs.
Wait.
Yeah, he does. He loves that lead in.
Home
Is
Alone.
that like Empire though? Is it another Star Wars?
Star Wars was just
Oh.
Star Wars. We just did all the stuff.
Okay. All right.
It's bad because that's the only part I can think of in this whole movie.
Do do do.
Can I guess again?
Is this like the love connection? Like what's going on here?
No, this is me not getting Jurassic Park. That's
No, it was Superman. It was Superman.
Oh,
The movie we just watched?
the one that
Yes!
was in your head.
that was it. That was the only part that was in my head. That's why I kept going to Raiders after that. I kept thinking of it and then going,
Didn't you just have it stuck
Oh,
in your
man.
head?
Yes.
What's happening?
I know. All right, it's Lauren's turn. Look
Okay.
away if you're not looking. Here we go.
I hate this.
Oh, okay. This is gonna be easy.
All right, we can look now.
Bottom.
Jaws.
Josh.
Yeah, Jaws. Josh got it. There we go.
Sounds like my name.
It does, Mr. Jaws.
That'd be terrible if like my students call me that. Ugh.
You should change all of your socials to like Dancing with Mr. Jaws.
But like or spell Josh, but Jawsh. That's terrible. That's
That's
awful.
like Megan to spell their name Meaghan or whatever. That's
Mathregan.
Mathregan. Mathregan. Exactly. All right, it's Vince's turn. Look away for no Vince.
Oh man.
I thought this was an easy one.
Oh, how did that go? How did that go? Oh no.
Home Alone.
Right?
Oh man, I'm drawing a complete blank here. I'm
That's
trying
how
to
I
think
felt.
of
How
like
did I do
any
that?
of the score. Oh, wait, no.
What?
You're killing me here. I almost had it there. Hang on.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, you got it.
I
Lord.
got
You just gotta
Right.
make it long and drawn out.
It's Josh's turn. This is the
Oh,
last one
God.
of the regular round. Here we go. Close your eyes. You're not
Okay. Okay. I don't remember this one.
Yes.
You have another one? I don't
No.
remember this at all.
You can pick
Oh.
one. You can pick your own then if you want. I
Can we
can't
let
think of any other John Williams scores.
I can't think of anyone. Damn. Oh no. Okay, wait. Can I? Oh.
Okay, I remember Harry Potter now. Can I?
I gotta pass this.
Womp 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 womp
Too late,
womp
Vince.
womp.
The Hogwarts Express has moved on.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm trying to think if I
I
remember.
I
It's
literally can't think of this one at all.
do.
Home Alone, Home
Oh, was this the actual one? Lauren got it.
Lauren got it. There we go.
Yeah, Lord.
All right.
Solid.
I was like, oh, one of these is going to be Home Alone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So these are your points, even though the points don't really make a difference right now. But here we go. Jeanette has 3. Lauren has 2. Josh has 1.
I said so many at the same time.
None.
Vince has 0. Were you about to say Vince has 0?
No, I said Vince has none.
0 to hero.
0 to hero. But it doesn't matter.
I'm
Whoever
gonna bet
gets
it
the
all.
bonus question will win tonight. Whoever gets the bonus question will win
Oh
tonight.
God.
You will need to write this down because it is a number. So,
Write it down.
yes, the
Write
person who
this
comes
down.
closest
I'm illiterate.
to the
No, I'm
number.
kidding.
Oh, don't worry, it's a number. Whoever writes
Wait, hold
down the
on.
number that's closest to the correct number will win the game for tonight.
Can we times these?
Here we go. How many Oscars has John Williams been nominated for? I was going to do 1,
Oh,
but I feel like
jeez.
nomination
Come
is
on.
makes it a bit
Oh, God.
fairer. How many Oscars has John Williams been nominated for? Okay, we got 1 vote for 50. 92.
I don't know why this number stands out in my. Oh, well, it's a 3. It's a 3.
Okay, one of you was very close. And that person is our winner for tonight because John Williams has been nominated 54 times. So, Josh,
Whoa!
Whoa!
congratulations. He won
Damn.
5.
Yes.
I was thinking
Yes.
that it was going to be a lot, but then I didn't believe it. But why?
I now
why-
retire.
He's basically the Meryl Streep of music.
Hasn't he won like? Is it 9?
Nice
Hmm?
one.
No.
9 or
won 5.
10 or something? 5?
5, yeah.
Ooh, so his batting average isn't good.
No, it's true. It's like Steve Martin made the joke about Meryl Streep at an award show once. He's like, Meryl Streep has been nominated for 19 Academy Awards. Or as I like to say, she has the record for the most losses.
Yeah.
Even though I guess technically, well, he was probably talking for acting, but I feel like it might be John for overall.
He does. I'm pretty sure he does. Like come on.
That's a good record to have.
That's ridiculous.
Good record to have. There we go. Anyway,
Only 50 though? Come on.
only 50.
Step your game up. There's only 54?
Only 54. I know. Make it to 55 at least, before you
Yeah.
retire from life, John.
What's the ratio of movies he's scored versus how many he's been nominated for? That batting
56.
average has to be better.
That's true. I feel like
That's
he
true.
scored at least 100 though. Yeah. At least
Oh.
100. But he's been
That's still a pretty good average.
that's still a good average. All right, so there we go, everyone. Superman. Huzzah.
There's no Tim Burton. No, I'm kidding. Or Danny Elfman.
Only one can be. So now's the time. Let's just do a quick go around. Tell everyone your closing thoughts on this movie. We'll start with Jeanette. We'll go this way.
Well, I'll go back to what I said at the beginning that it makes me want to watch the rest of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. So that's my goal, along with the other movies that we're going to watch this month. And that is where this movie has left me.
Nice. Lauren?
Well, this movie is one of my favorites, and it'll always be a childhood favorite to me. And I just think that Christopher Reeve's still best Superman who's ever played the character.
Until we see David, but he probably won't beat Christopher. But you have to give him a chance. Probably won't though. Vince.
Look, I think this movie stands the test of time, and future generations will be able to look back on the superhero film that really started it all. You have Superman, then Batman, and Blade, and that's that you got
Yes.
like your
And that's
your
the history of
holy
comic book
trinity.
movies.
Don't forget The
Yeah.
Mask.
Oh,
And the Mask, my mistake, and Tank Girl. Got to throw Tank Girl in,
And Spawn.
but
and Shark.
anyway, and Shark Boy and Lava Girl. My God.
blah. Perfect.
So anyway, look, you like Superman. I think give it a shot. If you're unenthused by recent interpretations of Superman, where he's a brooding jerk, I think this is more in line with the good Superman. So keep saving cats, people.
And not smacking
Yeah.
children.
Not smacking.
Not smacking children, please.
See, Henry Cavill's one, I believe, would have smacked the kid.
Oh yeah.
Don't tell anyone.
Josh, what are your closing thoughts on this movie?
Again, I'm with Lauren here. Like, I think I've watched it for as long as I can remember. I still love it. I'm waiting to show it to my daughter, and it's just, I like finding out things behind the scenes about it, but it's just, when I love watching a movie, and sometimes this even happens in bad movies, whatever. This is not one of those. This is a great movie where you just can't help but you feel something, like Superman catching the plane, like his father dying, like him losing it about to turn back time. Like when you feel something just inside and you're just rooting for the character or whatever, this is one of those movies. Whatever the camp or cheese, it's just a well told, like well acted piece of cinema. So
yeah, I agree with pretty well everything everyone said. I'm glad I've finally seen it. I think it's a movie I'm definitely going to rewatch at some point in my life, maybe probably sooner rather than later. And I do want to seek out the other ones just to get really a sense of what this whole franchise is, and if it goes off the rails, to enjoy that for what it is. But also just like,
does it ever?
I'm excited. I'm excited
Just
to see
wait
what
for Nuclear Man.
What? No spoilers. No spoilers.
That's Superman 4.
No spoilers.
And that's a whole
I actually didn't even know there was a Superman 4, so this is brand new
Quest for
information.
Peace.
I'm so excited to embark on the rest of this month, see all the other Supermans, and I might even go back and like watch the black and white ones with the other Reeve gentlemen, but we'll see. Lots to see, lots to do.
The other Reeve.
Apparently for this one, so yeah, I don't know about David Corza, but apparently he is also a Juilliard trained actor.
Right.
And Christopher Reeve's son is making a cameo in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's actually a journalist or whatnot, and
Jimmy.
No. He's just playing like a random like newscaster or something.
Oh, cool.
But
Nice.
he was just interviewed about it, and he said something like, "David doesn't need my blessing or my family's blessing, but he's great, and we're excited for the movie." Something like that. Like he was so cool about it.
That's awesome.
No, I'm
Cool.
excited. I have faith. I have faith in David. I feel like it's going to be pretty good.
I have faith in James Gunn.
Yeah.
Look at his track record.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's
Look.
made some.
Guardians 3 is a movie I wish I had not put my eyes upon, but it was a well-made movie objectively.
Why?
It just moved my soul.
Because
So
it's very
good.
sad. It is very good, but
Because
it's very
of-
sad. Matt and I both
because of
can't
Lila?
rewatch it. Because of
The
the animals.
animal
Because of
abuse.
Lila.
Yeah. The part
Yeah, that
when
was so
Baby
sad.
Rocket is like, it hurts. I was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I
everything
keep
that
wanting to
followed-
rewatch it, and
Ooh.
I can't rewatch it.
Oh, but it's
like,
such a good movie though. But yes,
Oh, it
yes,
is.
I
It's a
understand.
very
I understand.
well-made
I understand.
movie. I
I
just
understand that though.
I
Yeah.
never need to see it again. I hope the
Oh.
Superman is just as good and one that I'll be able to rewatch. All right. Well, it's that time. One at a time. Tell us who you are, where people can find you, and anything else you want the people watching to know. We'll start with Lauren.
All right. Well, I'm Lauren, obviously, and I'm with Lauren's Toy Box, which is on YouTube. I've got a Facebook page. I've got TikTok, Instagram, and Lemonade. And so you can find me under that name under all of those. So please join me.
Join you, we will. Thank you, Lauren. It's Vince.
Oh, hey. How's it going, everyone? I'm looking forward. Oh, God, I got like chips or something there. Disgusting. Look, fucking looking forward to next week. Looking forward to Superman, getting in touch with my inner child. You know, you return. Like, I went through such a period where, I don't know, I didn't like Superman. I thought he was old hat, a has-been. But I think I'm wrong. And I want to continue to be proven wrong until we get to Man of Steel. I'll probably be right. But look, that's all the future.
But that's because he's not Superman in that movie.
Yeah. Because he doesn't have the underwear. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. See you around, people.
Hello. So I'm excited for this month too, because I haven't seen any of these other movies either. Very happy to get into this. You can find me here next week. You can find me at TinkerJ787 on Instagram. You can find me on the We Like Theme Parks podcast Instagram, and you can find a bunch of videos from my past trip. And hopefully you'll be able to hear about it on the show soon. We did not record this past week for various reasons, but you should tune in next week and you can hear all about it.
Can't wait. Josh.
Can you put a censor bar? I'm Josh. You can find me on Instagram at dancing.with.mr. So many dots. Dancing with Mr. Josh on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Mr. Josh Dance Geek. And I do have a YouTube. I gotta post more, man. But I do have a YouTube channel, Mr. Josh Reviews, and Mr. Josh Dance, where I post like my choreography and stuff like that. And yeah, I really should get on posting on all of these socials and stuff. But yeah.
Thank you, Josh. Oh, wait, where am I? There I am. Okay, yeah, hi. And this is my channel. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed, why? Subscribe. Watch the other videos. We're here every week, except for 2 weeks from now. We took that week off because I have other things to do. But yeah, the rest of this month, talking about Superman. So join us for that. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and join us next week for Superman Returns. He's going to come back, right? But he's going to be a totally different person. Excited for that. Excited for Superman. We're done here. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees. Thank you. How do you end this?